Have you ever wondered why your paycheck seems more like a mystery novel than a fair transaction? Why have I told you that the age-old battle between capitalism and socialism is really a squabble on who gets to call dibs on the means of production? Spoiler alert, it is not just about making money, it is about what kind of fairness you believe in. Buckle up as we are diving into the economics with a splash of wit and a dash of grumpiness, because why not? What's more, by the end you will either look at your boss differently or just want a nap. Either way, it is a win. Right, let us start with this wild idea called means of production. Now, socialists define this as everything society uses to make stuff: factories, land, tools. But here is a kicker. They believe these should belong to all of us, cobbled together for the common good. Imagine a giant community bake-off where everyone chips in and shares the bread equally. Sounds like a dream, maybe, messy, definitely. Capitalists, on the other hand, point to the private ownership as sacrosanct. In this world, if you own the oven, say a factory or some land, it is yours to run or ruin. On top of that, if you bake a better loaf, you get more crumbs. It is a baking competition where the winner takes, well, usually a lot. Now, socialists see capitalism as a system that rewards a few for owning the ovens, while most folks just hustle to make ends meet. They say capitalism's fairness is rather like handing out umbrellas just after it rains. Yet, capitalism buffs argue something like, hey, we are playing a game of mediocrity. Work hard, bring the best dough, and you get your slice. Moreover, this brings us to the famous equality versus equity debate, which economists and philosophers love to bicker about over tea. Equality means treating everyone the same. Everyone gets the same size of slice of pie, no more, no less. Equity, however, says some folks have not had lunch in days, others ate too, so let us fix that with some extra slices here and there. Socialism tends to shoot for equality in outcomes, giving everyone equal slices to ensure no one goes hungry. Capitalism champions equity, rewarding who bought the best recipe or worked the hardest and thus deserves more. Nevertheless, hold your teaspoons, because fairness in capitalism is not just about the size of your slice, it is about your chance to bake. Capitalists love to claim their system is built on opportunity. Got the skills and the hard work? Great, your slice grows. However, show up late or without ingredients, tough luck, mate. Now, this logic only holds water if everyone starts a race on the same muddy track, which, spoiler alert, they often do not. How do economists figure out what value you actually provide in capitalist systems? It is a bit like trying to measure how good a cake tastes when everyone has different palates. Mostly it boils down to market value, the price your work can command. If your widget is worth a lot to buyers, you are paid more. If not, well, it is back to the kitchen for you. Some lean on the labour theory of value, claiming your wages should line up with how much work you put in. But alas, the capitalist model usually pays you less than you're worth, with the surplus pocketed by the oven owners. Then there is productivity, skill, rarity, and the magic of profits. These are what economists use to assign pay. Nevertheless, the system is far from perfect. Picture this: a nurse working 12 hours saving lives, and a YouTube star raking in millions for dancing in a onesie. Society's verdict on value can often seem as arbitrary as the judge at the baking contest who prefers cupcakes to sourdough because they like pink frosting. So, what is the takeaway from this economic soap opera? Socialism says, let us all bake the bread together and share it. Capitalism counterpunches with, bake your own bread with whatever ingredients you can gather and hustle for the biggest slice. Both have their charms and pitfalls. Capitalism can incentivize brilliance and innovation, but risks baking huge, uneven pies. Socialism promises fairness and community, but sometimes ends up with bread that lacks flavour or variety. However, before you toss your apron in the ring or storm out of the bakery, ask yourself, are you more interested in a fair slice or a fair chance to bake? Because either way, it is a recipe that has been debated for centuries over many cups of tea and not a few grumbles. Now, if you have made it this far without turning out, kudos. Pop your thoughts below. Do you side with the capitalist baker or the socialist one? Moreover, if you know someone who thinks economics is boring, send them this to put a little spice in their day. And there you have it. Economics with a pinch of personality. Now, off you go. May your slices be fair, your ovens warm, and your arguments lively. Goodbye.